Hey, good morning, folks. Hope you're ready for some training trade. Tom's joining in. He's been busy this morning, busy every morning, but he and I have been working on a few things this morning. How's everybody doing? Dave, you like that relaxing music that was after the song? I don't know where that comes from, but I had to reset my screen sharing because I don't know what that song was going to go into after that. Hey, Frank. Hey, Gina. Who performs the T-Buzz song? Adam created it with the help of AI. Pretty amazing what AI can do. Yeah, it is a good song. Catchy. Gets you in a good mood. Hey folks, I'm gonna step away and heat up my coffee for the presentation. And Tom stepped away, I think, just for a moment. He's gonna be right back. We'll get started, and there he is right there.
Hi, folks. Before I get started, it's so interesting. I've had nothing but technical issues from last night to this morning. And when I mean technical issues, I mean I've had everything happen, but not too busy. Not too busy to put out a SPX trade. Who did the SPX trade we did? SPX trade. I haven't been able to check it. How are we looking? It's in the SPX room. He posted it in the SPX room, Jennifer.
Jennifer and gold, SPX and gold been posted. Trade's looking good, Tom. I got it marked down to 70 cents. We're trying to get out at 50. So we're more than halfway there.
Well, I put it out and, it was a good trade and people made it. And, I told you I was going to do it. So I don't know why anybody could miss it. When I tell you I'm going to do something, you ought to do it. Okay. Uh, Looked like my got out at 40 cents, John. You see that? I said take profit at 50 cents or less. That's up to you. We call it a victory if it gets to 50 cents. So we got a victory there, I think. But, it's been crazy with the internet here. And in fact, I'm calling and I got a call at 11:45. They're going to call. I'm going to get some more power on the internet with all these computers I got in this office. So it's just they're draining too much. But that's my personal issue, not yours. Uh, Pretty good stuff, huh? Just pretty good stuff. I love making you money, and I made you money. I told you I was going to do it. So, how's everybody doing? I think it's interesting. The training we did yesterday on RB4 showed you the power of RB4. Did you see that mark the low of the move? Did y'all see that yesterday? That was instinctive looking at what I saw that you might be able to grab it. Pretty good stuff, huh? Pretty good stuff. So there's risk involved in trading. Past performance is not indicative of future results. In my opinion, today, Genesis again will define the playing field. Yesterday, it defined it. And I don't know, did anybody see the write up I put in about above 56? Would tell you that we're probably going higher. And I had a pivot number of 45. Huh? Did y'all see that? I'm trying to do that from time to time when I see learning opportunities and post it where you can get it and and learn as this market moves. The interesting part is the S&P. Okay, the S&P is above the 67.25. We're currently about 67.58. Been a little higher, but it's holding up near the highs. And we have a TQQ trade that looks okay. So we got some things happening, I guess. The retirement center will, comes into focus tomorrow, but you ought to join. We got 300 strong in our room, and all you got to do is click that button and get in there, and it's no charge. Now, if you get in there and want to be part of the crowd that I'm going to negotiate at a point in the future, you need to open a Tasty Trade account and send a link to me to let it know, and you get a referral. If you can't get a hold of Jonathan, can't get it, just put DTI in the referral code. They're supposed to track it from there. We're going to find out. I was thinking about this, and this is a pretty valuable deal, the gold program. Who's a gold student? Just type in if you're a gold student. I take Charlie. Charlie and John, how do y'all like the gold program? Jim, how do you like the gold program? You think it's worth the money? You got to take the trades to make it worth the money, but I think it's worth the money. One of my students, Joe, was said the best way to fly. Okay, best way to fly. On steroids. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's worth the money too with what you get. It's pretty amazing what we do there. But anyway, all right, let's go to the next slide, please. Yeah, John's a newer student, and he saw it quick and jumped on. Jonathan, why don't you handle this? Can you do this one?
Sure can. This is just updated just now. We got the S&P at 67.59, which is below, or excuse me, which is getting closer to that first three highs, 6,800. But we're in between the range, from the first 3 days of the month. That goes for the S&P, NASDAQ, and Dow. Crude oil's had a little bit of retracement this month, back up. The 3-day low is 60.40. If it can drop below 60, 50, really 59, 58.22 from the low from October 10th, maybe we'll see some lower prices in crude if that happens. Right now, it's a stay out situation. Gold is long, silver long. We had a big drop in gold, but we're trading at 41.63 today, and high from the first 3 days was 39.23. Actually, the title of this presentation today is about gold. Before we get there, just from looking at gold's drop, it dropped to a price of 4,021, which you can see never came close to the month open, never came close really to the 3-day high. Still about 100 points above the 3-day high at its low point. I think it was yesterday. As we keep going through the list, we got bonds, DLT, Apple. Apple was a big star early, or kind of a mixed bag. across the programs, but on Monday morning, Tom took a real nice trade on Apple. And then, of course,
I went to 265.
yes, it did. Yeah. That was the month high. Yep. So we got to, if you're maybe you missed a couple of weeks of training trade or a couple of days, we have added a lot more columns to this spreadsheet. Now, the month high and month low are here to stay as we go into next month, November. The October 10th high, low, and mid will probably go away, but October 10th was the big fall in the markets a couple weeks ago. So we felt the need to add those levels there. On the S&P 6806, if we can get above that, it will be back above the 3-day high for October. And then the low of October 10th is the monthly low down at 6540. That's a big number. Write that number down. May or may not come back into play, but it's a big number for sure. 6540. Something to at least have written down somewhere to keep it in your memory bank. All right, but that's the 3-day high numbers. What do you say we get back to our presentation today, Tom, on gold?
Let's do it.
First of all, this is how September keeps getting in there, but we are in October, training trade every day at 11 a.m. If Tom issues any trades during the sessions while we're here live, they will be sent to and tracked via dtitrader.com/TNT, the talk and trade service. That's a Telegram-based service where we post all kinds of information. Tom, we have a little bit of time today. Why don't I show an example of what you get in TNT? How do you feel about that?
I think you ought to do that.
All right. So what I'm going to do today is October 23rd. We're going to show this screen here and try to make it easier to see. Yeah, there we go. So the day kind of starts actually just like the futures market starts the day prior. So here's reference bar 1. Chuck posted this in there last night. You can see the S&P opened at 67.33, made a high of 39, and a low of 29. That's your first 30-minute range of the market. All right, and then we'll use that range for trading over in the futures program, but you get that information right here inside TNT. Then in the morning time, after Tom sees the market trade overnight, he gives you a quick snapshot of what's going on. Gives you a framework to work from. You can see here that we opened at 67.33. The most recent reference bar at the time, this was what, 5 a.m. in the morning. So RB2's open was at 67.46. And you can quickly say to yourself, okay, well, we opened last night at 67.33. We opened Europe at 67.46. That's a good sign. RB2 was higher than RB1. And we're trading at 67.45. We know that 45 is a key number. All right. So you can kind of get a good framework just from one simple snapshot that Tom sends you inside TNT. All right, then he gives you a special opportunities, right? It's called the Magic 5. Today was XBI 108.55, SQ 98.55, XLU Utilities 90.55, Alcoa 37.11, and I think that's Expedia 227.55. So every day Tom gives you 5 stocks that catch his eye, and he gives you trigger numbers where he's considered getting long, or he would say bear if it, less than, or he'd say bear if he was looking for a short opportunity. There's your main pivot. Recognize that number, 67.45. All right. Gives you the pivot for the day. We have a feature called the Moneymaker here. Hopefully you can see that, where Tom gives you his main levels. So a target and support, if you will. 66.75 target. And the way this feature works is it says, well, if S&P can get to those levels, these other markets in theory should be trading around those levels that the feature spits out. He uses the S&P as your benchmark, and based on how the stocks and futures are trading relative to the S&P, it spits out a number for you. And it's quite good intraday, usually quite good. And the other neat thing about this is you can find stocks that are showing relative strength. For instance, if the S&P got to 75 and Apple was trading at 257 instead of 255, it would be showing relative strength. Or you could find stocks that were showing relative weakness. Same sort of thing, sort of process. Tom then gives you some headline news. Gives you, in this case, some special insights. He said Genesis still controls today's high and low. All right. And what he meant by that is the Genesis bar from yesterday, which is this white bar here that's marked in with a Y. All right. We'll go live in a little bit, I'm sure, and look at the live market. Gives you his T-Buzz TV. First reminder, pivot 67.45.
A little dark this morning when I was up, wasn't it?
It looks like it, yeah. That time of year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or actually, you posted that a little bit after you recorded the video, looks like. Definitely, based on the time of day. Tom's an early bird, that's for sure. And if you're an early bird too, you're going to love TNT. It gives you all kinds of opportunities before everybody else gets up, including myself. Let's go back to the slide presentation. That's talking trade. Now, I just wanted to show you that real quick because, again, anytime that Tom issues a trade in the training trade session that we're doing right now, it is tracked and sent to his TNT program. You can go to detachtrader.com/TNT if you want to get involved with that. All right, Tom, today's focus. We want to talk about gold. Why gold is the question.
Let me just say the following. It's been a long time since I've seen a fast market. We had one at the high last Thursday night when I was headed to Orlando. It was at 4,400. And we had one, I think it was late Monday or Tuesday at 4,400 roughly. So there's a range there blocked by, and I call it panic selling and panic buying. And so until you get outside of that range, you're going to have to really wait until gold breaks up or breaks down. But I think it will break up. And so I do think that based on what it's done, you can still play it to the long side, but you're going to have a shorter term focus, I think, because it's going to be a while, I think, with that 400-point range. And it's done it. And you'll notice that keep your eye on the average true range of gold and watch it come down back to where it was, because right now it's out of sight with what's going on, and the risk is great. So what I do in a situation like that, I just watch, and I always remind myself, patience will pay. And that's exactly what you should be doing, and be very patient and waiting. So anyway, just want to throw that out there to everybody on gold. Those are two big numbers, 4,400 to the upside, 4,000 to the downside. Now, if it breaks that one way or the other, you're going to have a run. So either run down or run up. So you can use those numbers in. And plus, we got a new month starting, which will have a new basis after 3 days to be able to play gold. That's the beautiful thing about our 3-day algo. Man, I love these slides, Jonathan. Nice job.
Yeah, they're good. Thank you.
Don't y'all love the slides Jonathan prepared? I mean, we're just going the extra mile. All right, this is gold futures. Jonathan, read that low over there to the left-hand side. What's that low?
Well, I tried to make this since 2003. I made the point where 2003 is about right here. So, all right. And I got
300 was when it was there, right?
Yeah, hang on just a second here. $2003. The open in 2003 was 344. 344.
Let me tell you the story. I was in Las Vegas in front of 1,500 people, and my presentation was on precious metals. This is the start of the conference out there. And I told people, I said, folks, I've got a buy signal on gold, and you can buy it here and pay for your conference. I think it's a buy. I've been watching it for 15 years. Patience will pay. And that's the start of me buying gold again. That was 2003. And I kept buying 2009 through 14. I was buying silver, and 2011 gold or silver hit 50.11. I remember that I was on an airplane coming from Toronto. That was the night they caught Osama bin Laden. Hadn't been up there again until recently when we broke it. We broke it again, and I think that I called low on Valentine's Day a year ago, and then I said it was going to 3,500. We got to 3,509 and stayed that way for 60, 80 days before we broke out at 3,500. Sort of the same scenario here. It's going to take a little time to do all that digestion. And rather than chop yourself up, I like to watch it during this period of time. That's my take on gold. Why am I bullish? Well, central bank actions have increased. The debt levels of gold. Let me do this real quick, get this out of the way. It's blocking me. Debt in the U.S. now is at 38 trillion, and debt around the world is also high. We've been living on the arm, so to speak. U.S. dollar has been weakening. It's up about 99. Actually, the low of gold was when they passed, or the low of the U.S. dollar was when we passed the big, beautiful bill. And that was the same time in the previous administration when they passed their bill. So it was pretty interesting. This is an inflation hedge. Devalues the dollar, and gold is used to hedge against it. And the global uncertainty, tariffs cause global uncertainty. I don't know if I buy that or not, but gold is a fear contract. But here's something that a lot of people don't know, okay? I think Russia-Ukraine does add to global uncertainty, but here's something people don't know. If the S&P goes up, gold will track it 88% of the time. When I did that study years ago, I was just shocked because I always thought gold went down when the market went up. But no, gold goes up when the market goes up. And if we think the market's going up, I think that's just something to talk about. Almost every time gold makes an all-time high, it sells back off. It's doing it again. It did it on Monday and was hammered on Tuesday, following an 8% dump. New buyers are coming in. I see gold in a trading range, 4,400 to 4,000. The current market top and current market bottom occurred during fast markets, an old way to think. I expect gold to trade in this range for the next 2 or 3 months. That's my expectation. But you got my numbers. You know everything I know about it from the DTI approach, and that's what I think. In my opinion, I'm bullish on gold after the sell-off, seeing an opportunity likely in more short-term trading for a few months. We'll do some short-term trading. Like I said, I'll probably kick back in on November 1st, okay, and try to pick up some trades there. But right now, I got my hands off the mouse. Jonathan, I got to tell you, folks, what do y'all think of this slides? Isn't this beautiful, these slides? I mean, goodness gracious, this is great. All right, here's my 5 top gold stocks, write them down. I'm still long KGC. CDE was something I bought at 4.5. Nuggets is more of a trade. Royal Gold's more of a swing. And GLD, you can play it a lot of different ways. A lot of different ways. These are my 5 top gold. There's the monthly chart that sort of defines it on GLD. Went over 400, went to 403. This week it was one of my top 10 tickers, and I had a buy. This is a big week for the top 10 tickers in GLD. KGC went up to 27.72, pulled back to about 24 right now. I think it's a buy as an accumulation. I might do that at 1st of November, or at least the first 3 days of November. CDE, remember when I bought this at 4.5 and said it was going to 7.5? Y'all thought I was crazy. Stayed at 7.5 for about 3 months, broke out. Look at it now. Look at me now. Nugget, another good trading entity. And Royal Gold, this is a Bill sample special. Bill's always liked it. And every time I say, what are you buying in gold? He follows gold quite regularly. Always RGLD. See why? Paid him good, hadn't it? RGLD. Should go to 220 the next run. RGLD. Any questions? This is Train and Trade and Gold. Past performance, not indicative of future results. We're going to go to a live market, Jonathan.
Yep. Oh yeah, we can do that. Do that right now.
Great slides. I love it, love it, love it.
Thanks, Tom.
All right. Is everybody taking their profit on the SPX? I'm asking that because I'm getting ready to do another trade. That's the reason I'm asking it. I told you we're going to work that SPX. We're going to go to XSP next. I got to hear back from you if you're taking these trades I'm giving. I can't be doing this if you're not taking the trades and smiling like I am. Let's see what Genesis does. If Genesis is a continuation day to day, we'll go out at my guess should make it up to 67.75 if Genesis is a positive. And the other thing I got to say, okay, the other thing I got to say that we got to think about, okay, we're going to meet again for RB4 today. I want to do that. How many people would come to RB4? How many people we got in here? Let's see if we can get a commitment, Jonathan. Will you post a link for RB4 trade today?
We're going to do things a little bit different today. We're going to leave this Zoom room open, and there'll be nothing happening until 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, but you won't have to go. How's that sound?
That sounds great, Jonathan. As hard as these internets are to get on this stuff, that makes a lot of sense. All right, I think, Jonathan, I don't have anything else other than we can go through the Seven Sisters for everybody. It looks good. I think Genesis is going to tell the story. Yeah, Dave, you probably pressed it too hard. Way to go, Rob. We'll get that. We'll charge an interest next time, Dave.
So just so we're clear, this room stays open. You don't have to leave, but if you do leave for a moment and want to get back in, check that original. I'll post a link again in the channels, of course, but if you just can't find your link, however you got here this morning, you can just rejoin that link later today.
Stay in here. I might surprise you if I see something. If I get my computers and everything cool and working, I might just surprise you.
Everybody likes surprises, especially when it's a trade.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I told them I was going to do that SPX this morning. They made money, and that's all I care about, them making money. All right, folks, I'll see you in a little bit.
Hey, Robin, we're live on YouTube. I'm about to cut the YouTube session off, so you'll be able to get the recording from YouTube in just a minute. Okay? go to the live tab at the YouTube channel, dthatcher.com/YouTube. But the Zoom room stays open. We'll have to restart the YouTube stream later on, but the first YouTube stream will be ready for review here in just a few minutes.